The court is now in session. We are hearing the case of Noura versus Dr. Fadi, in which Noura, a minor with severe blast injuries, alleges unethical research practices. Counsel for the plaintiff, please present your opening statement.
Your Honour, we represent Noura, who was subjected to Dr. Fadi's so-called medical study. No adult consent was ever obtained. Dr. Fadi took photographs of her open wounds without permission, an act of exploitation that disrespects the child's dignity and privacy. Furthermore, he subjected her to stressful interviews, causing psychological harm and re-traumatization, while never ensuring her data remained confidential. Most disturbingly, Dr. Fadi delayed necessary surgery to gather more information and take additional photos. Noura was veiled, yet they took photos without respecting that, prioritizing research over emergency care. Worse yet, enrollment in the study was tied to receiving the surgery for free, a clear example of undue influence. These actions violate basic ethical principles.
Your Honor, Dr. Fadi is a humanitarian researcher trying to improve pediatric trauma care under extremely challenging circumstances. This study was, in fact, approved by an institutional review board, which carefully examined the protocol. Resources are scarce in this war zone, and the photographs or interviews serve the greater scientific good to document blast injuries and develop better treatments. We contend that Dr. Fadi did his best to respect patients while simultaneously handling medical duties. Providing free surgery was meant to assist these vulnerable families, not to coerce them. We believe the allegations are overstated, considering the harsh conditions.
I call Noura to the stand. Noura, could you tell us how Dr. Fadi approached you?
He came when I was bleeding from my face and my vision was blurred. He took pictures of my wound before anyone could treat me. I remember him saying, "We need these images for our study." I asked if I could get help first, but he insisted, "Just one more photo." I also heard him say, "It's okay, we can delay the surgery since it's free," and something about, "Send me the pics on the ophthalmology WhatsApp group with her name."
How did that make you feel?
I felt humiliated. I wasn't covered properly, and I was in pain. Everyone was busy with the study, and no one offered me pain medication. I was never asked if it was okay to be photographed without my veil. It didn't feel right that he was delaying my surgery just because it was for free and for the sake of his study.
I call Dr. Fadi to testify. Dr. Fadi, please tell the court your intentions behind photographing injuries and interviewing children.
My study was intended to advance knowledge of pediatric eye injuries during blast traumas. Photographic evidence is crucial for developing better surgical protocols. We operate in a crisis zone. Paper forms and parental consents are often not feasible. Yes, I provided free surgeries to families because they were desperate. It was also a way to encourage participation in the study. And to reiterate, this protocol had IRB approval to ensure ethical compliance under these emergency conditions. Before the court deliberates its final decision, I ask the audience to reflect on the evidence and testimony presented during this trial. Based on what you've heard, how should the court rule regarding the alleged unethical research practices? Option A. Guilty of ethical violations. You believe Dr. Fadi clearly disregarded vital ethical principles, such as informed consent, confidentiality, and cultural sensitivity, causing additional harm. Option B. Not guilty of intentional misconduct. You believe Dr. Fadi acted under extreme circumstances with the best of intentions. The IRB approval in war zone context justify his methods, despite some shortcomings. Option C, needs further investigation. You believe some ethical breaches may have occurred, but also recognize the complexities of conflict zone research. Recommend corrective measures and more oversight rather than outright condemnation. The court recognizes the following ethical breaches. 1. Lack of consent for a minor. 2. Exploitation by taking photos without respecting dignity or veil. 3. Psychological harm through re-traumatizing interviews. 4th, lack of confidentiality in handling personal data. 5. Prioritizing research over immediate medical care, delaying surgery. 6. Undue influence, offering a free operation in a highly vulnerable setting. 7. Cultural insensitivity, examining a veiled patient without a female chaperone. While the intent of this research may have been to benefit the broader medical community, Dr. Fadi's study violated key ethical principles, including beneficence and non-maleficence. The study must be suspended until these breaches are corrected. Noura should be compensated and provided with ongoing psychological support. Recommendations for future research with children in areas of conflict. 1. Prioritize child safety and avoid exposing children to harm or exploitation. 2. Ensure informed consent and assent are culturally adapted and appropriate for vulnerable populations. 3. Anonymize data and use robust security measures to protect participant privacy. 4. Combine research with immediate healthcare benefits for participants. 5. Address participants' psychological needs, including PTSD and anxiety. 6. Conduct longitudinal studies to understand long-term impacts on children. 7. Collaborate with local communities to ensure cultural and social dynamics are respected.